Hey guys, today I'm excited to give you my spoiler-free thoughts on The Flash. Now, I just saw the final cut. I know they were showing the movie without the final cut. I did see the final cut last night, and I went into this movie like not knowing what to expect because I heard a lot of people saying that it was really good, but then, there's all the stuff that was going on with Ezra, and I just didn't know what to expect going into this. And I really, really liked this movie. I had a lot of fun with this movie. It certainly has its issues, and we are going to dive into that, don't you worry. But overall, this movie does the multiverse right. Now, it tackles the multiverse, which, listen, every single studio is tackling the multiverse right now. That's kind of what's happening. This does it in a really, really good way. There is a scene with Michael Keaton's Batman, who I just love Michael Keaton as Batman. And yes, there were a few moments I teared up just because of the words he was saying, and just seeing him on screen, it meant so much. And it was absolute joy to see him back in this role that he was clearly super thrilled to be back in and having an absolute blast doing. But he explains the multiverse through spaghetti, okay? But he does it in a way that makes so much sense that, the rest of the movie, you're not questioning it, right? Because you throw time travel and the multiverse in, people, different characters, played by different people, things get confusing and things get crazy, and this was just done in a way that you're like, oh, okay, I'm not questioning this moving forward. I get it. I get where we're going with this, and I'm okay with it. Now, this movie really does share lessons very similar-esque to Across the Spider-Verse, which is interesting watching it in this order because I know a lot of people who had seen this film before Across the Spider-Verse. I've now seen Across the Spider-Verse 3 times, and now seeing The Flash. I mean, this is very much like there are these events that shape you, right? These are the scars that make you who you are, blah, 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 that sort of thing. It's done in a really good way as well. Little different than Spider-Verse, but I don't want to dive too much into that because we get into spoiler territory, but it's interesting that it feels like it's easy to compare the two. Let's put it that way. Not that you should compare the two because they're two very different movies, but it allows you to draw that slight comparison there. Now, I will say this movie is really funny. There's a lot of great, funny, comedic moments, and that is what I love in a movie. I love a superhero movie that can have incredible, epic action sequences and still make you laugh and still make you cry, and that is what The Flash delivers. Now listen, you do anything with children and parent relationships and you're gonna get me, okay? If you guys have been around the channel for a while, you know I'm an emotional human being. I wear my heart on my sleeve and I cry very, very easily. Especially, I have two daughters, I have two kids of my own, so you mix in parent-child stuff, forget it. I'm waterworks flowing. So there's a lot of moments that really hit me in the gut, really got me, especially in the third act. So I don't want to talk too much about them, but they're intense, they're emotional, and they got me. Now, I will say, action-wise, they throw you right into the action. You're immediately in. You get to see Ben Affleck's Batman do his thing, which is amazing and always fun to see. And then you get Ezra Miller's Flash doing a sequence as well. So you get action almost immediately from the start. Now, the Flash is doing this thing outside the hospital. I say that just to preface where I'm going here. The CGI in this moment, you guys will know exactly what I'm talking about, is not good. I hate to say it, but I'm like, it wouldn't be a DC movie if there wasn't some wonky CGI in here. It is so bad in this scene. There are other times where it works. They do a decent job with it, right? Especially in that big fight in the final, in the third act, right? The big final fight with General Zod, which if you guys watch the trailer, you already know he's a part of this. So maybe they were like, we're going to save the budget for that. I don't know what they were doing, but it was just not good. I was like, really, this is the final version, guys? This is what you went with. Someone okayed this. Someone said, yeah, it's the first scene, but let's throw in horrible CGI in there. I don't know. It doesn't set the bar very high for the rest of the film. Maybe that's why the final scene works so well. Maybe that was their point. I don't know. That's not just the only bad CGI, though. There's a lot of CGI throughout. A lot of cringy stuff. A lot of really poor choices. But, if you can put the CGI aside, the story, the plot is really good. Again, it's multiverse done right? You have Keaton explaining the multiverse in this way with spaghetti that is just so understandable and believable. And you're like, okay, I get it. So that's great. But the plot itself, the story itself, it makes sense. So if you've seen the trailer, or you've read anything, even the synopsis, this is all about Barry Allen wanting to go back in time, fix a tragedy, fix something. Messes with the multiverse. You really shouldn't do that. You shouldn't mess with the timeline. Gets himself stuck. And then he has to join forces with the Justice League of there, right? Not even the Justice League, but he has to find Batman, which is Michael Keaton's Batman. He tries to find Superman. Instead, he finds Supergirl, which, let's talk about Supergirl, because she's really good. Sasha is really, really good in this role, but I just feel like we were not given enough of her. And it's sad to know that things are changing, right? We're moving into the James Gunn DCEU. Like things are changing, okay? DCU, I guess, whatever we want to call it, the Gunniverse. I don't know. It's got all a bunch of different names, but we're moving on to a different DC universe and moving away from this DCEU and into something new. And it's sad, and I do hope we get more of Sasha as Supergirl, because she's really good in what we get her in. She's like commanding on screen, right? She commands presence. She's really great. She has some really good emotional moments too. Her anger, like, she's really fantastic. And the soft spots as well. So I'm kind of sad to know we didn't get much of her here. I felt like we could have used more. And then to know that we're probably not going to get her again. Maybe, fingers crossed, something will pop up. We do have the multiverse open now. So I would love to see that. And speaking of the multiverse, like, the whole third act is just, especially one moment in particular, is just absolutely filled with surprises and excitement for fans. There's fan service in this, right? This is essentially Spider-Man No Way Home in terms of fan service, more or less. And that's exciting, and it's fun to see. You're going to cheer, you might tear up, you know, things like that are going to happen. You're going to be clapping and be like, yes, I saw blah, 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 blah on the screen. And it's fun and it's exciting. It's kind of the perfect send-off, right? It's a perfect love letter to DC movies of the past, of the present, maybe of the future. I don't know. It's all fan service stuff, right? So we're getting some very, very exciting things. Probably not the future, because we know things are changing, okay? Now what I saw actually has a post-credit scene as well. Stay all the way through the credits. It was all the way at the end, at the very, very moment. It's fun. It's not essential, especially not knowing where the future is going with the James Gunn's DC universe, but it's still fun and it's worth checking out if you like to laugh. That's what I will say. So sit through. I know it's already been a long movie, but if you just sit through to the end there. Now, speaking of the length, this movie is long. It is. There's a couple of moments that kind of drag on, but I feel like they gave a lot of the emotional moments the time to breathe that they needed. So I'm like, okay with that, right? I'm like, I get it. It could have been cut down, but those moments really do have payoffs in the end. They could have cut it like 15 minutes shorter and maybe it would have breezed through a little bit quicker, but I don't think that was like 100% necessary to do. I wasn't mad at it. I wasn't checking my watch. I wasn't thinking, geez, when is this going to end? Now, you know, a movie like this is one I usually like to rewatch. I got to go to a critic screening, so it was just myself. My family's big fans of superhero films as well, so we usually go back to the theater and see it again. How will I feel on a rewatch? I don't know. Some moments might seem to drag on even longer. Now that I know what happens, I'm not sure. But I can tell you through the first watch, I wasn't like mad at the length. Now, here we go. We got to talk about it, right? You can't talk about The Flash without talking about The Flash, okay? And Ezra Miller, despite what Ezra Miller has done, pure performance-wise, let's talk movie, okay? I always try to separate the actors from their roles and just really focus on the movie, especially in a review, right? I'm not here to review Ezra Miller's personal life decisions. I'm here to review The Flash. And something that Ezra Miller has always done has been really, really good in the role of Barry Allen. And I hate to admit that, but it is true. Miller has always excelled in this role, and that is no different in The Flash. This time, Miller is portraying two different versions of The Flash, right? You guys have seen the trailer. Like, literally, this entire movie is about The Flash. And here's the thing. This movie would not have worked with a poor performance from Miller. It would have been horrible, okay? But instead, we get two really great performances. Not perfect, right? There's a little overacting here and there, but I think the point of that is to separate the two, right? This is kind of a mentor-mentee relationship between the two. One is a little bit younger than the other one, which you'll see. And there's some differences here that really fit, okay? Because you need to have these characters be different but similar, right? They need to be sort of the same, but they have to be a little bit different. They're different versions of each other. And that's something that Miller does well, okay? Makes it believable, makes you believe, oh, these are like two versions of the same character. I get it. I'm here. The way they interact, they bring a lot of the humor. They bring some of the emotion. They do a really good job. I hate to say that. I know what it sounds like. But again, my job here is to review the movie. It is not to review Ezra Miller's personal decisions. So in this film, Ezra Miller's performances, they kind of do a really good job, okay? Both of them, totally believable. enjoyed them on screen together. Should I even say that? It was fun. It's fun. And that's really what this movie is, right? This movie is fun. This movie is fan service. This movie is like I said, a love letter to the past and the present. Not so much the future, but maybe a little bit, but probably not. But I wouldn't be mad at it for certain things. It's so hard to say without spoilers. There's a lot of surprises in here. There's a lot of fun stuff. There's some great action. There's a decent plot in here. It's a decent story. It's a multiverse that's done in a way that's understandable and entertaining. The CGI is not good, you guys. It's not. There's a couple of moments, like I said, where it's good, especially with the two flashes in the final third act, right, in the final fight. But the way the Flash like runs through time and the whole thing they have going on there doesn't look good. The Coliseum, it doesn't look good. It just doesn't. It looks awful. The faces look fake. Like, it's just not done well. And I'm not sure why they just kind of let that happen in this movie. I feel like, I don't know, DC just does this a lot with CGI and it kind of kills me. But overall, I did really enjoy the movie. Like, I left it being like, okay, I will see it again. Because like I said, I like to go back and see with my family. And sometimes I'm like, oh, you guys can go without me. No, this one I do kind of want to watch again. And I don't know, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It's a great send-off. I'm excited to see where things go in the future with James Gunn's DC universe, of course. But this one, like, I'm not mad at it. I'm really not. I think, like I said, Sasha was great. Wish we got more of her. Keaton is just fantastic. Keaton is having a blast. I love seeing Keaton dive back into this role. There's a lot of stunts that Keaton is performing. Whether Keaton's actually performing them or not, I don't know. But I still love seeing Batman, Keaton's version of Batman, back on screen. Feels like the same Batman, right? Feels like he never missed a beat. Feels like he stepped right back into this. Because this feels like Batman from Batman Returns. Like, it feels like the same Bruce Wayne. And that's what I think makes this work so well. So listen, go and have fun. It hits theaters June 16th. You guys let me know if you're excited for The Flash down below in the comments. I give this movie a 3.5 out of 5. I'm not mad at it. I enjoyed it. And I'm gonna go see it again. It was funny. It was emotional. It gave me exactly what I wanted. And it gave me a lot of good fan service moments, I'm not going to lie. And that really helped it as well. So, I don't know. If by the time you got to this review, you've already seen The Flash, let me know what you thought down below in the comments. Be sure to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. Follow me over on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and check me out at MamasGeeky.com. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time.